Before we begin, ask yourself this. Would you marry someone if they promised you land, wealth, and a quiet life? Now imagine this. You go to meet her and never come back. This woman advertised for husbands in newspapers. They came. They vanished. No police record. No goodbye letter. No trace. Just her, smiling and waiting for the next one. Belle Gunness. And she may be the deadliest woman in American history. This is Utak Diaries, where we tell the true stories that are too crazy to be fiction. Subscribe now so you never miss a mystery buried in history. Belle Gunness was born in Norway in 1859 as Brynhild Polstatter Sturse. She came to America for a fresh start, changed her name, settled in Chicago, married a man named Mads Sorensen. 2 neighbors, she was quiet. 2 banks and insurance companies, she was very busy. Because in 1900, her husband mysteriously died. So did their store and their home, all insured, all collected. Belle claimed it was gas poisoning. Doctors disagreed, but couldn't prove otherwise. After her husband's death, Belle moved to LaPorte, Indiana. She bought a farmhouse, remote, isolated, perfect. Then she placed ads in the newspaper. Personal, comely widow seeks gentleman partner. Must be willing to relocate, bring savings. And the men came, dozens of them, all with cash, all disappearing shortly after arrival. Neighbors saw them enter, but never leave. She told the town they had gone back home. Business fell through, changed their minds, but something felt off. Too many men. Too much silence. And then, the smell. Belle had children, a housekeeper, farmhands, but eventually, even some of them vanished. In 1906, one farmhand, Ray Lampfer, started asking questions. Belle fired him, then reported him for stalking. But the truth, Ray had seen things. He said Belle kept chloroform, knives, and a ledger full of names and amounts. He said there were bodies buried on the property. Police ignored him. They found 4 bodies, until 2 years later, when the house burned down, and inside the ashes, 3 were children, and the 4th was herself, a headless woman, which Belle claimed. Investigators weren't sure. Belle was a large woman. The body in the fire was much smaller, so they dug, and what they found was a horror scene beneath the surface. 11 bodies, then 15, then 30, all buried under her pig pen and garden. Each victim, a man who had answered her ad. Some had signs of blunt force trauma, others had chloroform burns. One had his hands tied, disappeared, vanished like her victims. Another had a sack over his head. It wasn't a love story. It was a trap. And Belle, gone, disappeared, vanished like her victims. Newspapers across the country exploded with headlines. The Black Widow of LaPorte. She promised marriage. She delivered death. But even with bodies in the ground, no one could prove Belle was dead. There were reports of sightings, letters mailed in her handwriting. A woman who looked just like her, spotted in Mississippi, then California, then nowhere. One tip claimed she ran a boarding house under a new name, but no arrest, no confirmed body, the headless corpse. To this day, we still don't know how many people Belle killed. Widowers, lonely, isolated. Most estimates put it at 14 to 42 victims. Some believe the number could be 50. Most never reported missing. Because these men, often immigrants, Belle targeted those who wouldn't be missed. She ran the perfect murder-for-profit operation. Before serial killers were even a concept, she found a loophole. Used the mail. Used charm. Used fire. And when it got too close, she disappeared. possibly burning someone else's body in her place. This was the 1900s version of ghosting. In 1931, a woman in Mississippi was arrested for poisoning a man. She had a strange accent, and old photos matched Belle's. The woman denied it, but handwriting experts said it was almost identical. Did she really fake her death and live a second life for 20 years? Some believe she escaped justice. Others believe the fire killed her, but the mystery never fully unraveled. To this day, Belle Gunness is one of the only suspected female serial killers to vanish. With no confirmed death, she may have been the perfect predator. Money, power, control. Belle used romance as bait. She built trust like a weapon. She killed quietly, systematically, and profitably. And she did it in plain sight. She wasn't unhinged. She was methodical. Some say she had no emotion. Others said she was driven by poverty and trauma. But whatever the reason, she left a trail of lives erased, and a legend burned into the soil of LaPorte, Indiana. You've heard of Jack the Ripper, you've heard of Ted Bundy, but you probably haven't heard of Belle Gunness. She didn't just kill, she played a long game, and maybe she got away with it. But here's the scariest part. How many more stories like hers are buried under names we'll never know? This was Utak Diaries, where we bring you the hidden stories that history left behind. Subscribe, like, and share if this one shocked you, because we're just getting started.